And welcome back to the Hot Lap, seemingly our daily, pretty much now, update on the Red Bull situation. This is from planetf1.com, and it says Christian Horner has stated nobody is bigger than the team at Red Bull, following comments from Helmut Marko and Max Verstappen that suggested both of their futures may have been in doubt over the past few days. Nobody's bigger than the team. We could get into that in a bit. Because is he being a hypocrite? Because this is the whole thing has been about the allegations around Horner. And these allegations have been found false, as in there was not enough evidence. It's not to say it didn't happen, it's not to say it did. So, that's a bit different. But then they've now suspended this female, allegedly, once again, because of the lack of transparency. We do not know, which is then why you get rumours. But interestingly, Red Bull have also not denied that these leaks were real. They've not said they were false. So we don't know. But then if someone's not denying they're real, you have to assume that the potential of them being real is more than not, possibly. And if that's the case, lots of people have read them rightly or wrongly. You can go on Twitter. For example, people have shared some of it, and it would appear that if they are real, he is not being entirely faithful to his wife, assuming, once again, they are real with these texts. And if they are real, from the little bits that I think we've read here, once again, we do not know whether they're real. I think anyone in any company would have been gone. I think they're not it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm sure we've all, if anyone's read it, I'm sure we've all read worse things, but still. So it's quite interesting, isn't it, that Christian Horner says nobody is bigger than the team, unless it's Malaysia 2013 and Sebastian Vettel multi-21 was wrong. Let's be honest, I like Vettel, but he was wrong doing that. Mark Webber, if you read his book, everyone kind of took Sebastian's side come the next week, including Christian, who, that for me, that shows a weakness as a team principal. But he's also been an amazing team principal. 2005, he helped, found the Red Bull team. Him and DC helped get Adrian Newey in there. And look at the success they had for just a drinks company, as Lewis Hamilton once said. But then on the other side of things, you go on, you see Netflix, and he's just an angry little man. The way he just swears and has Toto Wolff living rent-free in his head. Yes, Toto, you can make a good argument, it's just as bad. He's just, but nobody is bigger than the team. Yes. So, as we know, Marko has subsequently confirmed he'll be staying at Red Bull after hinting he may be at threat of suspension by Red Bull, which prompted Verstappen to state that should the company's motorsport advisor depart, it would not be good for my situation at the team, given his very big loyalty to him. And on track in Jeddah Saturday, it was smooth sailing. As we know, Red Bull 1-2. Brilliant. I mean, the team, buying what you think about Christian, the team underneath him, absolutely amazing. Really good engineers, awesome pit stops. We all love Verstappen's engineer. He must have the patience of a saint. Sometimes when you look at those two, but it works, doesn't it? So yeah, everything underneath Christian Horner there is at the moment working brilliantly, and I think the team has done really, really well to not let it distract them. They have built the best car quite comfortably, really, if we're honest, to the point where Verstappen's not really being challenged. But they still have to get there. So given the off-track rumblings surrounding the team have not yet dissipated, it says questions have continued to come Horner's way surrounding how the team is currently operating. Now, when asked by Sky Sports if there's currently a battle for control, he said, no, obviously a lot is made of this stuff, but we are one team. Nobody is bigger than the team. The team comprises across the different entities of over 1,400 people, and everybody has a role to play, and that's from the very bottom to the very top. And without them performing, you don't achieve performances like this. He's absolutely right. But then he also doesn't always, completely tell the truth. Cost cap gate, for example. He didn't say, he said they submitted their paperwork and it was below the cost cap, but then they breached the cost cap. So it wasn't a complete lie, but it was, let's be honest, in terms of lying, it was in the grey area, wasn't it, of line? But all team principals lie. I'm not trying to just paint Christian Horner as that. They all do, and they're all there for their team. And I imagine if you're working under Christian Horner as a person, the way he bigs his team up and his people is brilliant. The way he will defend Max Verstappen when things happen on track, and the way he supported Sergio Perez and before that Alex Albon in the press, I think was really good, which is the opposite of Helmut Marko. And for that, it must be so easy when you can get really frustrated to say something to the press. And to be fair to Christian Horner, that's something he does not do. And it's we carry on. Unfortunately, there's obviously been a lot of speculation this weekend, but once again, our focus is very much on track. Now, impressed on Marco's comments over the weekend that he may be a threat of suspension from the company, and Verstappen's subsequent claim that a departure for Marco would not be good for his own future, Horner again was defiant. He said, well, firstly, Helmut is a consultant to Red Bull. So whatever the discussion was between them is between them and not within the team, he explained. Max is an important member of our team. He's a valued member of our team. He's a wonderful driver, but everybody has a role to play in this team. We are a team and no single individual is bigger than the team, and that's the only way that you achieve these kind of results. Now today's was Max's 100th podium finish, and he goes on about how awesome his 56 race victory, how fantastic Max is, and he is. But once again, he says no single individual is bigger than the team. Absolutely, completely agree with you, Mr. Horner. But then if those WhatsApps are true, it's a massive if, I know, because we haven't had it confirmed. But if it is, and you're saying these things, Christian, yeah, not good, is it? It's not good. It doesn't sound good. Will we ever find out whether they're real? I don't know. But if the team is you hear these rumours about maybe starting legal proceedings, and or Helmut Marko, he was the one that maybe have done the leak. You see it in the media. It's really hard what to believe with this lack of transparency. But we predicted this was going to happen. Everyone pretty much predicted by this lack of transparency, it's going to make things difficult. It's not good. It's not a good look at all, is it? For Christian, if once again, if that is true. Yeah. So let's get into the next story. It says here, Jos Verstappen continues his war of words against Christian Horner with future prediction. Verstappen's doubled down on his claim that it would be bad if Christian Horner stayed on as Red Bull team boss, but he expects he will for the rest of the season. Now, although Horner's investigation is dismissed last week after a lengthy internal investigation, after an internal investigation into his alleged behaviour, 10 days later, the F1 headlines don't make for happy reading. Yes, Horner continues, as we know, to be grilled. Helmut Marko, we now know that's not the case. We don't think he's been suspended. And what has Jos Verstappen said? Had he said anything? This includes an investigation here into the email of the alleged leaked information that was sent to hundreds of people, including the media, which set out to humiliate Horner. It did, I think. Once again, but then when you read it includes they're investigating the leaks, a leak would imagine that it's true, wouldn't it? Because it's a leak. If it wasn't true, it wouldn't be a leak. It would just be someone making it up. So in the midst of all, Verstappen Sr. continues to call for Horner to step down. Statements that have cast doubt on his son's future with the Milton Keynes squad. Verstappen Sr. doubled down on his claim, saying that it would be bad for Red Bull if Horner stayed on as team principal. However, he reckons that Britain will see out the rest of the year with the team. Now, all these things that are going on are having an influence on Max, and he told the Daily Mail ahead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Now, but what if this whole thing was a smear on Horner, also, we need to look at the other side of it, where that's absolutely abhorrent, isn't it? And if this person has made it up, yes, they deserve to be sacked if they've made it up. But then once again, then you have to assume that the leaks are not real when you read about them. And I'm just going to quickly just look at my phone, see if there's any interesting reports. As we know, Red Bull have overtaken Williams for fourth on the list and all-time constructors. Max Verstappen, Red Bull mechanics. else is about there? Any? I mean, there's no too many news here. But yeah, Christian Horner. I mean, he's hero or villain. What do you guys think? Comment below. Let me know. I think for me, it all depends on whether those leaks are true. Whether for me he's a hero or villain, and at the moment I don't know if they are true. Yeah, I do think it's unbecoming of a F1 team boss when you do the whole "we race as one" etc. after reading them. If they're real, if not, it's absolutely abhorrent. And the man's a hero for standing there, and his wife Jerry Halliwell, Jerry Horner, is also a heroine for standing by her man. If these things are not real, and it must be absolutely horrible if they are not. It's a big if though. As Murray said, if F1 spelled backwards. So yeah. So Horner, absolute hero to get through all this. If this is a case of trying, like this false information, getting them wrong. If all this information is true, once again, we don't know. Not quite the hero, really, is he? But I hope he's a hero. I would love these to be false and us to move on and talk about the racing and maybe have Max Verstappen not be so dominant. Anyway, that's pretty much it. So fingers crossed. Let's hope that Australia, we talk about the racing. Let's talk about the racing. Let's talk about how good the racing is after an amazing race. Maybe Max Verstappen has a spin at the first corner, has to change his front wing, a slightly damaged car, comes through the field to maybe finish 4th or 5th. Perez is, and we have a ding-dong battle for the win. That's what we want. We don't want to hear any more about Red Bull. Yes, I appreciate the hypocrisy of myself talking about it, but it's because it's dominating the news at the moment. And it could have a massive effect on the driver market if Max Verstappen does choose to go to Mercedes, as there are some rumours. I don't think it's very likely. I think he'll stay at Red Bull, and I think at some point this situation will all be calm and we'll all be hopefully not laughing about it, but hopefully that it's oh yes, do you remember that time? And we're all over it and everything is hunky dory. Once again, though, if those WhatsApp messages are not real, but there we go. So, but what we can't deny is Horner has been one of the most successful team bosses. He's up there with Frank Williams. He's up there with Ron Dennis. He's up there with John Todd, Ross Brawn in terms of F1 really successful F1 personalities when you look on the stats. So, yeah, and I guess if you're a Red Bull fan, long may it continue. Or are we seeing the fall of a dynasty? Who knows? Anyway, I'm now rambling. This has been the Hot Lap. Horner, hero or villain? Still don't know. Hopefully we'll possibly find out. Don't know. Anyway, speak to you soon.